Since 2017, a YouTuber named Phil has been documenting his hiking trips on a channel called Hick Slam. Gear reviews, trail prep, solo camping techniques, the kind of content that makes you want to lace up your boots and head outside. On the night before Thanksgiving, 2021, Phil set off on an overnight hike along the Appalachian Trail near his home in Virginia. For the first half hour, everything was completely normal, and then he started finding things on the side of the trail. Trash at first. Odd-looking containers with what appeared to be song lyrics written across them. Strange enough on its own. Who goes to the trouble of writing out entire songs on a plastic container and then throws it in the woods? But as he pushed further and crossed the boundary into the wilderness, the discoveries got darker. More notes.
The weirdness continues. What the? And there's a dead duck here.
A dead duck lying next to a series of cryptic messages that appeared to be freshly placed, given how dry and intact they were. Some of the notes read like conspiracy theories. Others referenced undercover federal agents. Some seemed biographical, fragments of someone's story written in a frantic, spiraling hand. Phil spotted a tarp and a fire burning at a campsite roughly 20 yards away from the notes and the duck and kept his distance as he moved past. Shortly after, two women came down the trail with their dog asking if he had seen the person leaving the disturbing notes and dead animals. When Phil mentioned the nearby campsite and the fire, they immediately got scared and asked him to walk back to their car with them. He went. Then he headed in a completely different direction to find somewhere safer to spend the night. He found a trail shelter a couple of miles away on the other side of the road, set up camp, lit a fire, ate his dinner, normal enough. But later that evening, when he went inside to look through the communal shelter log, the tradition where hikers write in their trail names and leave notes for whoever comes after, the handwriting in the newest entries stopped him cold.
I'm gonna check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write in their trail names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine, back section. Hiking again finally. It's nice and little trail magic. Some comics and writing and stuff. Alright, let's see what's happened recently. Holy crap. Wait a second. Let me adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here.
It was identical to the writing on the notes by the dead duck. Same frantic style, same spiraling content, same references to jail, to solitary confinement, to conspiracy. The shelter was more than 2 miles away on the other side of a road from where he had found the original notes, and whoever wrote them had been here too.
In 2018, while I was incarcerated at the Okaloosa County Jail, what the heck? In solitary confinement, I figured the following out. Refer to Isaiah 28:15 through 9. This is the same ramblings from the guy that was on the other side of the river. That's kind of scary. Kind of weird. Those women down there said they were going to call the police on the guy. Wow, this is weird. It's just like it goes in one direction, then immediately goes in a completely different direction. And there's just so much of it. Like this line up here. Think grave robbery in an attempt to obscure the reality of Little Mrs. Wolf. Content. Come up with some more of those wicked schemes, JB and company. so I can show some more of your true character.
Phil tried to settle in for the night. Then he heard something moving near the shelter. He looked out and saw a single figure with a headlamp circling silently in the dark. He didn't wait to find out who it was. He packed quietly and made his way back to his truck in the middle of the night, checking over his shoulder the whole way. He made it back safely. As of 2024, he hasn't uploaded another video about that trail. Here is what makes this case more unsettling than it first appears. Public trail registries are completely unmonitored. Never write your real name, exact destination, or planned timeline in a public shelter logbook. Trackers use them to follow solo hikers. And if you ever spot the same erratic handwriting appearing across different shelters along your route, your path is already compromised. Retreat immediately. In 2021, a YouTuber named Matt decided to spend a night alone deep inside a remote, unmapped cave in the Australian outback after a friend told him about an unsettling experience he'd had there and dared him to go. Matt's channel sits at the more extreme end of the outdoor content world. He regularly disappears into the wilderness for days at a time, living off what he catches and hunts, no safety net, no support crew. This was consistent with that. The walk-in took around 4 hours. When he finally reached the cave, he climbed down a heavy industrial ladder at the entrance and began exploring the interior, crawling through the different holes and passages to see where they led. He hadn't brought water, planning to find some inside. At some point, he started hearing rocks shifting near the entrance and the sound of something moving around up above. He noted it felt like he was being watched, but pressed on. Around 11 at night, he sat down to eat his dinner, baked beans, alone in the dark underground, and that is when the chain moved.
That is beautiful. Baked beans in a haunted cave. Oh my God. That was the sound. That is the sound. Did you hear that? Look at my arms. I got full goosebumps. It's the chains moving when I climb down the ladder. It's a big, heavy, thick chain. Wind can't move that. Holy.
The same heavy industrial chain hanging from the entrance ladder began swinging and rattling through the cavern. There was no wind inside the cave. Matt was emphatic about that on camera. It wasn't a windy night, nothing was moving the air inside that space, and the chain was far too thick and heavy to shift on its own.
That chain moved just then. It is 100% now. I heard it before. I'm 100% certain it's the chain that I walked in, that you climbed down into this cave on. It's moving. Now, you can't move that chain with wind. It's way too heavy. There is no wind coming in here. There's no wind even Holy. Oh my God. You must have heard that just then. Look at my arms, dude. Oh, this is fucked. Okay. Well, I've got my backpack back on and I'm booting on out of here. I just heard a sound. It's not normal. It's definitely not a normal sound and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I checked in with you guys, so it would be around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that sound was not normal. I'm getting out of here.
Something had physically manipulated it, his only way out. He recorded himself with full goosebumps, voice shaking, insisting he was certain about what he was hearing. The sound came again, then something else. Deeper in the cave, a noise that didn't fit any animal he could identify. That was enough. He got his backpack on and headed for the exit, though he changed his mind part way and spent the rest of the night near the entrance rather than fully leaving. As the sun came up, he got out and never went back. If you ever find yourself in a situation where your only vertical exit is being tampered with from above, the worst thing you can do is immediately climb toward it. Being suspended on a ladder leaves you completely exposed with zero cover against anything waiting at the top. The correct move is to retreat into a low-profile side crawlway, mask your presence, and wait until whatever is at the mouth of the shaft clears before you attempt the exit. Grizzly Gaz is a camping channel on YouTube consisting of videos featuring Gaz, the uploader, going on hiking and camping trips in the UK with his French bulldog Fendi. In a lot of his videos, he goes camping in some pretty extreme conditions, and he often shows footage of his unexpected encounters in the woods. On May 4th, 2025, Gaz set off on another outdoor adventure with Fendi, and this time he had a specific goal in mind.
Reading about a druid's altar that's buried in the woods of this reservoir. Now, I don't know where it is, but we're going to find it. But this particular reservoir is very popular with dog walkers. So I'm going to have to hang fire a little bit until everybody's buggered off home before I could set up camp.
He had been reading about a druid's altar that was rumored to be hidden somewhere in the woods near a local reservoir, and he was determined to find it. The reservoir was unusually low due to recent dry weather, which had exposed stretches of beach along its edges that weren't normally visible. While waiting for the dog walkers in the area to clear out before setting up camp, Gaz spotted what appeared to be an abandoned campsite tucked away among the trees and made a mental note to investigate it later. Once the area quieted down, he found a good spot, set up his tent, and the two of them went exploring, discovering a beautiful waterfall nearby before heading back to camp as the evening approached. Gaz brewed coffee on his portable stove while Fendi relaxed nearby, enjoying the peaceful woodland atmosphere. But then the silence was suddenly broken by a massive crash from somewhere deep in the forest.
Go on. Go get your tent. Go chill out for a bit. I'll have this and then we'll go for a walk. So impatient, isn't she? What was that? Did you hear that? Definitely sounded like a tree falling down from over there somewhere. Kept hearing stuff up behind me, and then big crash right over there, but I can't see out through trees.
Gaz initially thought it was a falling tree, but something about the noise felt too deliberate, and despite the growing unease, his curiosity about the abandoned camp and the rumored altar pushed him to investigate anyway. Venturing deeper into the woods with Fendi at his side, Gaz started feeling increasingly uneasy. The forest felt too quiet, with only the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the stillness. He began hearing rustling sounds nearby that he couldn't quite explain. Then he stumbled across a makeshift fort someone had built among the trees.
Realised that that tree that collapsed earlier, or that branch that snapped. Yep. Mr. Owl's out. That's up near where I saw that camp. So this might be a wrong move. Pigeons. Don't know if this is a good idea now. Come on, we need to go have a look, don't we? I can hear rustling over here, but I don't know if it's just my imagination playing tricks on me. Oh, this is a bit dodgy, isn't it? Oh, look at this. And this isn't what I saw, but looks like someone's been making a fort here.
Not far from it was the abandoned campsite he had spotted earlier. Trash was scattered everywhere. Food wrappers, empty soup cans, and drug paraphernalia. Whoever had been staying there clearly wasn't your average camper.
Hello? Hello? Fendi, come here. Fucking pigeon. Oh, I don't know. Oh, there you go. That answers it, doesn't it? Fendi, shit me pants then, mate. Oh, look. Bong there and cream of tomato soup. Mandarin pieces. Just bits of crap lying about everywhere.
As they continued exploring, Gaz noticed strange splashing sounds coming from the direction of the water. Then in the darkness, he caught a glimpse of something reflecting back at him. A bright white eye shine watching from somewhere among the trees.
That's all we need. Oh, definitely just saw eye shine over there. Oh, fucking head torch.
He kept going. At the bottom of a slope, he finally found what he had come looking for. The altar.
There it is. We found it. It's a shame my head torch ain't working. There we go, look. What's that on top of it? What is that? Oh, do we dare even come in here? Holy Bible. That says the end there. Is it upside down? Why would it be upside down? Is Genesis the first passage of the Bible? I don't know. It's got some scribbling on there. Can't make out what it says. Mary Ann something or other. Eastwood, Todmorden, 1995. That's creepy, isn't it? Upside down Bible. Oh, I don't like that. Alright, let's see what we can see here. What's it made out of?
But it was nothing like what he had imagined. Rather than some ancient stone structure, it had been built from concrete blocks that appeared to have been taken from a nearby bridge. And sitting on top of it, open and facing downward, was a holy Bible. Its pages were filled with strange handwritten scribbles, names and dates, including the words Eastwood Todden, 1995. An upside-down Bible sitting open on what was supposed to be a pagan altar. It made absolutely no sense. Was this some teenager's idea of a joke, a sign of something more sinister, or just an odd collection of discarded items that someone had arranged to look meaningful? Whatever it was, the sight of it gave Gaz an uneasy feeling he couldn't shake. With Fendi staying close, he decided he had seen enough and made his way back to camp with far more questions than he arrived with. Creepy Outdoors is a channel where the uploader frequently shows footage of his nighttime visits to sketchy outdoor locations during all 4 seasons. In October 2022, he uploaded a video of a solo nighttime walk through an unnamed forest in the middle of nowhere, recording everything he came across as he moved through the darkness. For the first few minutes, all you can hear is the sound of his breathing, and you can't help but be a little amazed at how someone can walk alone through a pitch-black forest, without knowing what might be out there with them. As the video progresses, he makes a few observations about his surroundings, and throughout the footage, there doesn't appear to be anyone else in the forest with him. Around 13 minutes in, though, everything changes. In the distance, a couple of 100 feet away from the uploader, a voice cuts clean through the silence.
Oh, hi. What? I need to get out of here. Oh, boy. Oh. Okay. That was creepy. I need to get out of here.
I see you. Just like that, he turned around and headed straight back to his campsite. Now it's possible the sound came from a coyote or a fox. Both are known to produce sounds that can occasionally resemble human speech. But because it came out so clearly and sounded so deliberately like those exact words, it could just as easily have been another person out there in the dark trying to mess with him. The uploader had been talking and making noise throughout the whole video, so it's possible he had unknowingly alerted someone nearby who decided to use that moment to scare him. What makes the whole thing genuinely unsettling, though, is the timing. The voice rang out at the exact moment the uploader switched off his lamp. Not before, not after. The precise second the light went off, almost as if whoever or whatever was out there had been watching the beam moving through the trees the entire time and was waiting for that specific moment to make themselves known. Luckily, he made it back to his campsite safely and has continued uploading outdoor footage ever since. But that detail, the timing of it, is the part that stays with you. That killing your light source during an active stalking scenario does not make you invisible. It just destroys your own night vision. Do not abruptly click your light off as this signals panic. Keep moving forward on a steady trajectory toward high ground to project confidence and maintain your navigation. A solo YouTuber decided to camp overnight inside a 2500-year-old remote fortress on a mountain in Turkey, a place locals call Satan's Castle. He set up camp alone inside the ancient walls as the sun went down and settled in for what he expected to be a quiet night. Then a gunshot split the air. He didn't register it straight away. He continued moving around the perimeter of the castle. Then 2 more shots rang out. Then it became clear they were directed at him. Armed with nothing but a burning stick for light, he tried to retrace his steps back through the ancient walls, as more gunshots followed, getting closer than before. He dropped everything, tent, gear, all of it, and sprinted into the pitch-black mountain terrain with no idea who was shooting, how many there were, or where exactly the fire was coming from.
Someone came with a gun and fired shots at the castle. They're firing shots at me. I left everything behind, and now I'm trying to find a safe place to go. That's them there with a flashlight. They're coming closer. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Figures with high-powered searchlights began closing in from multiple directions as he ran blind through the darkness trying to find cover. He eventually managed to get a phone signal and reached his Turkish contact, who called the police on his behalf. The explanation came back within minutes. Officers had received a tip about a suspicious stranger near the castle. A rental car with cut headlights acting strangely. They assumed treasure hunter, possibly a terrorist. They sent armed units to apprehend him. The suspicious stranger they had been hunting all along was him. The whole thing was resolved. But the minutes before that resolution, sprinting blind across a dark mountain with active gunfire closing in and searchlights sweeping the terrain, were genuinely life-threatening, and every second of it was captured on camera. If you ever take active fire in a remote wilderness environment, the worst thing you can do is keep any light source visible. An open flame or flashlight in the dark acts as a perfect targeting beacon, telling whoever is shooting exactly where you are. Drop low immediately to reduce your silhouette and extinguish every light signature you have. Move laterally using deep drainage ditches for physical cover, avoiding exposed trail ridges. A solo female stealth camper uploaded footage of her overnight stay inside an old abandoned graveyard from the 1800s. Everything seemed normal enough at first. She spotted a hidden clearing tucked away among thick bushes and trees, set up her tent and gear, and with camp ready, she wandered through the cemetery with her camera to pass the time until dark. That's when things started to get strange.
Those dogs are barking at me. I'm probably the only one that's here at this time. They're going crazy.
While filming the weathered headstones, she picked up the sound of what seemed like children screaming somewhere off in the distance. She had assumed she was completely alone out there. As it turned out, she couldn't have been more wrong.
So if you can't tell, it's pretty dark here right now, but there are kids here, like young kids in the cemetery. And I'm wondering how active this place actually is. Do people come here at night and kind of party in the forest or something? Anyways, I'm heading back to my spot. The dog barking, I didn't want to disturb anybody, especially since I'm not supposed to be here. So I think I'll finish my exploring tomorrow morning. And because there seems to be still a lot of stuff here. See? Hear them? I think they know I'm here. That's not good. Fuck. I'm gonna keep this recording. Just in case. But I'm also gonna stop and find out what they're doing, if they're actually watching me or not.
As it got darker, she realized there were actually kids somewhere in the cemetery, close enough that they had probably already spotted her. She figured they knew someone was there and were just trying to freak her out. Still, she wasn't taking any chances. She kept the camera rolling just in case and made her way carefully back to her hidden spot, making sure nobody followed her. Back at camp, she lit a small fire to cook her dinner. That was the mistake. The moment those flames went up, voices and footsteps began moving through the trees in her direction. Unlit figures pushing through the brush toward the light.
I just had to put out the fire because there are people walking around back here. They don't have headlamps on, but like I said in my last video, I do not like being around people in the middle of a forest, especially when it's dark out. So I might pack up and get out of here.
She didn't wait around to find out who they were or what they wanted. She packed up everything as fast as she possibly could in near darkness and slipped out of the cemetery without making a sound.
Okay, I'm packed up. I'm ready to go. So, luckily I have a friend that lives around this neighborhood, so maybe I'll just go continue this night in their backyard because I was looking forward to having a nice night. And there's still people here. I can barely hear their voices, but they're like way off in the distance. And there's the occasional dog bark. That dog that was barking at me, he keeps barking.
Putting as much distance between herself and the fire as she could manage. It was a smart call, because whoever those figures were, they had been drawn directly to her position by the light of that fire. Out in the open woodland at night, a campfire doesn't provide safety. It provides a precise map of your exact location to anyone within a significant distance of the tree line. If threats are already moving toward you and you need to kill the flames, immediately smother the coals with raw dirt or sand. Never use water. Water creates a loud hissing sound and produces a bright white steam cloud that maps out your position just as clearly as the flames did.